How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Whiskier. I got Hayden with me. Two Louisiana boys in New York City. We're at 58 Wine and Liquor here in New York City. This is the second time I've actually come here. Today, we're actually meeting up with Card. Longtime subscriber, longtime Patreon member. He's taking us all around Brooklyn. Before we head to Brooklyn, we had to come here. We're near Central Park. Gonna do a little bit of shopping, a little bit of bourbon hunting in here, and then we'll see you at the other stores. Cheers. All right, y'all, so we're at 58 Wine and Liquor. Like I said, they got a ton of new stuff on the shelf that we're gonna talk about, but real quick, we got a C&E, a Russell's pick. How long ago did you pick this one?
It came in Friday.
Came in Friday. Oh, this is brand new then. Yeah. Brand new to the store, okay.
I have 3 cases left.
You love the C&E Kentucky Spirit we have at home.
That's good.
That's great. That's fruity for a Russell's. That's really good.
Super sweet.
Yeah, super sweet. Damn, that's good. I like that. All right, now we got the Weller Single Barrel, the notorious orange label. Slapping it down right here. I think 96 proof, right? 97, okay.
97, yeah.
I have one of these at home I actually like, but I've also heard people say that they've had some that are really bad, so. But I mean, I'm not complaining. I paid, I think, $55. I got really lucky. Sean said he did the same with this one, 55 bucks. That's not that great, right?
Well, it dies.
It dies instantly. Okay, so I've had a bad one now. I can say that people would be so pissed. Can you imagine spending the $400 that people pay for it? And oof. Next, we got the Weller Foolproof pick in. These all coming in at 114 proof. I have also gone on a limb and said this in the past too. Some of the Weller Foolproof picks I've had aren't as good as the standard Foolproof. And we've tested that theory a couple of times, but Hayden just said on the nose, this one smells really good. Let's see. Hopefully, I mean, it's probably going to be better than the single barrel, the orange one. It is. That's nice. Yeah, a little bit more of a dark, like cherry wood note on this than the typical Weller Foolproof, which I really like. I think that is what is pretty cool about the single barrels. They're very unique compared to the standard. And then last here, we're going to have this. It's a Stag Junior store pick. What's the proof? It's 137.9. So just shy of 138. That's a hot whiskey right there. And I have one at home, I believe is 135. That one is almost like too hot. I love Stag, that's my favorite whiskey, but I normally love it because it sips under its proof. So let's see what this one, oh, that's got a nice color. That's my favorite nose. Yep, like that. That's what I was worried about. I thought it was gonna be hot. That sips at like 115, 120. The sweetness on that, a little bit of caramel, the way it coats your mouth is nice. That's not something I'm used to with this. I'm used to it kind of burning and just, but being smooth at the same time. This is lovely. I like this. That's probably my favorite one out of all of you. I like it. All right, so now we're gonna show you some of the shelves here. We had some amazing whiskey. I think the takeaway for me, that Stag pick was awesome. And then towards the end, we had one of those kind of like a homemade finish. It was Weller 107 aged in honey barrels. That was lights out good. Wasn't too much honey. I was expecting a little bit more honey, but starting out, we have some Blanton's Gold, Blanton straight from the barrel, New York price. So $2.99, but that is still cheaper than I've seen it in Colorado and a few other states as well. We'll talk about some of the new bottles I've seen since the last time. If you haven't checked out the last video that we did in New York where we came into the store, make sure you check that out too, but we are definitely gonna point out and highlight some new bottles, some of the great things that we see, and just show them. Last time we talked about it, you could just see the full view of the store. It's not the largest store, but my God, is it one of the best selections in the city. By far. I love coming here. So they have the Whistle Pig, the 15-year Vermont Estate Oak right here in this shelf. This Willet Purple Top is a 14-year. That's one of the older ones I've seen. I've seen like 14, 15. That might be the oldest. Of course, you have some Van Winkle, the 12-year, and then the Rye Reserve. That's actually one, I don't see that often in stores, is that Rye Reserve. You see this one a lot, and the 10-year with the little wizard staff, with the staff on it. That's the most popular ones here. New stuff in the shelf as well. Bomberger, Shanks, everywhere. It seems like New York City's just getting them a lot. Sean was just saying he can pretty much order as much as he wants this, which is great. We got the Michter's 10-year Rye. Michter's, this is the barrel strength rye. Look at this. Come get a good close-up. The Four Roses LE 2024 release, and then right next to it, the Maker's Mark 2024 cellar aged. We have a 1792 aged 12-year. There's also one back there. And what was the price on the 12-year? $100 for 12-year 1792. We had it the other night. I think that's a $100 bottle. Buffalo Trace kosher rye recipe. This one's $79.99, 80 bucks. So, because I've yet to see this on a shelf, and for 80 bucks, especially after I've had it, I would pay it. I think like from the distillery, if you can ever get it, might be around 60. So $20 upcharge. But again, we're in New York City. This is the best price I've seen it for, and I do think that it is worth the $80. So if you've been looking, do yourself a favor. This one's good. We kind of call it the baby Rock Hill Farms. This one's fantastic. Last time, kind of the similar spiel. Lots of Nulu, definitely the best Nulu selection that I've not only seen in the New York City area, but kind of anywhere. Nulu normally has like the 3 standards. This one has a lot of their experimentals. The different color wax tops, just pull out, check them out and see what they are. And next we'll talk about some of the picks here. We also got to taste this Old Forester single barrel, 130 proof. So I didn't know the proof before we tasted it. I sipped it and I know that these are cask strength, so I asked, what proof is that? Because it doesn't sip at what I think it might be. And he was like, oh, it's 130 proof. This was like 110, 115. It was great. And it was like, I said it was like a roller coaster, a rocky road, because it would go a little bit spicy, sweet, then you get some banana note, then some barrel. It was great. In the shelf here too, and then on top we have some WB Saffel. Next to the Bond & Lillard, skip the Bond & Lillard, go with the WB Saffel. That bottle is just fantastic. Check it. The hold up here, and then look at this. Single barrel, Lucky 7 Holiday Toast, 118 proof, pick. These I don't think they even make anymore. That's what I was told. I'm not sure how true that is, but these are fantastic. I love every single one that I've had, but I've never had a pick yet of them, or a single barrel of them. We have the Blue Run. I think we got to taste this one last time. This was great. We have the Wilderness Trail, just a few of these left. Last time I actually said this was my favorite of his picks. Sean sent me one of these. We got the 200 milliliter sample bottle. We did a giveaway over on Patreon for one of the bottles, and then we also just kept one, and I killed that in maybe a week. It was amazing. Back here, that's brand new. I see these kind of hitting shelves, not all the time, but the Michter's Toasted Bourbon. It wasn't that long ago when I was in Colorado. We were having a tasting at a buddy's house, and he has so many bottles that he just doesn't crack. Okay, Mike, I know you're watching. He doesn't crack the bottles, and we were like, dude, we gotta get him to crack something tonight. And we convinced him to crack that one, and it was probably the favorite pour of the night. I really, really loved that one. It was delicious. Some Weller Special Reserve, the Bardstown Series 10, Makers 101, some Penelope Rosé casks. We got some toasted, a couple of the Pinhook. I still think this is the coolest Pinhook label, even though I haven't had this one yet. And then what is this? The Vertical Series 8. If there's one I could recommend out of the Pinhooks up here, grab that gold label, the 8. He also did say he's got a couple of Rios in. Just didn't see him on the shelf, but he does have a couple of those in. My recommendation though, you gotta come try his picks. They're definitely some of the best picks I've had. Everyone, our palates kind of align on whenever we talk about the picks. He lets me taste it, we talk about some of the notes, and they're spot on to what he gets as well. So highly recommend the picks. They're gonna be the best prices as well, and they're just good. You're supporting the store, come on. All right, so look, we're in Central Perk Liquor. I'm not gonna show you much here. The prices are just a little bit crazy. But check this out. I've heard of Russell's 13. I've heard of Russell's 15. They have them both here. So you see Russell's 13, Russell's 15. But have you heard of Russell's 16 back there, if you can see in the middle? Russell's 16-year-old, 107 proof. Never heard of that. I'm scared to ask the price. And I've also never seen this before either. Old Forester, 150 anniversary, batch proof, 126.4 proof. Do you know much about this? That looks dark. It might just be the bottle color, but that looks pretty interesting. All right, so next stop, where are we at?
BQE,
Which is in what
Wine
town?
and Liquors in Queens.
In Queens. So by the way, this is Card. Tell them what's your Instagram handle?
Cardnotics Anonymous.
Cardnotics Anonymous. He's been in the channel since day one. Him and his wife are taking us around town today. We're gonna go all over Brooklyn.
You know.
You like that?
Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
Okay.
Benson.
We're gonna go all over Brooklyn. Today we're in Queens. Right now this is the first stop. We don't even know if we can film here. He was like, hey, before we get on the highway, let's go in here, just check it out. But we got a lot of great stores today. First stop. We've been waiting on this trip for a long time too.
It's gonna be fun.
Let's go. Let's do it. We'll see you inside. So starting off here, for $144.99 for Blue Spot, the reason I'm talking about this is because they've doubled price recently. So you're gonna see for like $289 now. So the fact that a store still has it for $144, I'm sure it's their back stock that they still had. $144 is a great price. I want to talk about what's up here. The standard selection, it's actually a very standard, pretty basic selection, but all great prices. To include this, like I'm gonna call it out because this is the best price I've ever seen for Knob Creek 12. Even though I don't like Knob Creek 12 for $47.99, that's fantastic. I can't even lie to you. Looking up top, Russell's 13, $249, right next to the 15 for $389. We have almost past it. Michter's Toasted, $199. So those are a little markup. But here, $3.39 cellar age. That'll probably be the last markup. But right next to it, look at that, $79.99 for Heart. I paid that price in Louisiana. That is an April bottle, though. If you haven't had the April, if you've only had the June, the April's the one to get. That's chocolate, cherry, strawberry. It's so much fruitier, a lot more chocolate. It's like you took a bite of like Hershey chocolate. You've had it before, Hayden. You know what I'm talking about. That's a really good one. Michter's Toasted, the Bourbon though, that's a new release. $149, $3.99 for the 2024 LE. Also not the worst price I've ever seen in my life. I was just talking to him here. The $55.99. Stranahan, and it's not different than what they're making now, but this is the OG label. They just don't produce it anymore. So maybe you're a Stranahan's collector. If you love the Stranahan's brand, you might want an older bottle. They have it here too. Look at that. That's the cheapest I've ever seen. $53 for Baker 7-year. That is so cheap. But look at this. $75 for Grizzly Bees. I've never seen it that cheap. I pay $80. Which one?
Heaven Hill, $46.
$46.99 for Heaven Hill bottled and bond. That's one of the. It's fantastic.
$32 right there.
30. That's the cheapest price I've seen in the city.
That's just, at least even in Brooklyn. I think that'd probably be the cheapest that I've seen. So
yeah,
$32.99.
$32.99.
Price 32 and 33.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the stuff, the top shelf stuff is actually the most reasonable I've seen yet in the city. Look, the Sir Davis too. I paid $89.99. You're getting it here for $84.99. Look, I'm not saying you're going to save hundreds of dollars, but especially in the city, right? I mean, the Manhattan Island it's right there. So just take a little drive or take an Uber, take a train, come out here and check it out if you're in the city. This is a good little spot. It's pretty cool. This is $23.99. I know you know Evan Williams 1783. Have you seen the old Stubbies? Is this an old bottle? Should we have bought it? I don't know. For $23, it's not like it's going to hurt my pockets or anything, but I'm wondering if this might be all over Brooklyn, if they have the OG bottles. Because now I know if you watch, they're a little bit more rectangular, a little more square nowadays, but that looks old, right? All right, we just finished at the BQE. You going home with a Grizzly Beast after tax, 81?
Yeah, I think it's $81.
$81 after tax. That's cheaper than I've ever paid for a Grizzly Beast. I also want to point out, I didn't want to, the guy was back there, but they had a 1792 12-year for $73. And what's crazy is I would have bought 2, 3, whatever. I just got gifted a bottle from Joe. So I was like, you know what's crazy though? I looked for, Joe's the man. I looked for a year for that bottle. Couldn't find it. Now it's all over New York City apparently. But they had it for $73.99. So $74, it's worth it all day long. I think that store, that might be a new
This
little.
is going to be something I come back to probably weekly.
I think so. They had great prices, great bottles. That 1783 Evan Williams though, that's old. They changed in 2021, so we're going to see what it's like. Now we're heading to Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
We're leaving Queens, going to Brooklyn.
Straight over the BQE.
Straight over the BQE. The BQE. Right off the BQE, pretty much. So we'll see you at the next stop. This was awesome. All right, so behind us here, we have the Verrazano Bridge, right?
Verrazano Bridge.
Verrazano with a V.
Bridge.
And we're in Brooklyn. And the first store,
Bay Ridge.
Wine and Spirits or
Wine and Spirits.
Liquors?
Wine
Yeah.
and Spirits.
I mean, the prices here are pretty high, you said.
I think it's probably going to be the highest you've seen. I asked the guy to clear his shelf out, and I think the highest price for a full proof, he was like $260.
$260.
$260. Yeah.
That's the best.
And I was going to buy like 4 or 5.
So we're gonna go check it out inside just to see what they got before we hit some of the more local spots that you're familiar with that you shop at. But I wanted to show you this background just for a second. I mean, that's a great view. We're kind of in that fall season too. Leaves are changing. The weather today, it's in the now probably low 50s. We're gonna go check out the store. We'll see you inside. All right, so we got $99.99 special reserve, $149 for the antique 107, $249 for foolproof, $199 for the Weller 12. Y'all know I love that twice barreled Jack for $330. Let's see. This is definitely probably the best price I actually have seen for Blanton's in the city. $99.99, which is actually probably cheaper than you can get in most places in general. That's great. Some H. Taylor single barrel up top for $249, $200 for the small batch. The Midwinter Night Dram, $350 we kind of passed up. The birthday bourbon, 3 different years, 3 separate years. One is 1,000, then 1,100 pretty much, and 1,300 right there as well, along with some of the other selections of bourbon in the store. What'd you think of those prices? That was a little bit high. You asked them, what would you ask them to do a deal?
On 2 12 years, and what did I say, the 107, and they only came down, what, $20?
$10.
So $10.
They came down $10.
They're doing us a
Yeah. Yeah, so they asked for $189, I think or $180 is what they wanted for each of the Weller 12s that you asked for.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Cool selection. I mean, look, cool little spot. I doubt most of the people here viewing are gonna come spend your money here. It was cool to see all those birthday bourbons. They had some Pappies. We didn't even talk about the 10 and 12. Dude, they had the 10 year for $1,000. That's just insane. But, and look, you can almost window shop here too. They got some bottles in the window. Eagle Rare was $79, I believe. So really steep store, but this is a beautiful area. I can't wait to see the rest. All right, guys, so next we're at Pepinos Wine and Liquors. This is maybe half a mile from the other place.
Maybe not even.
Maybe not even. Where people and price matter. Let's go find out. Look at this, $32.99 for some Evan Williams single barrel, the 2015. I know these are kind of hidden shelves all around, but the 2015 for 32, I think I normally see it around 37, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sure you guys can fact check me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's a great price for that one. Pretty standard selection here. We'll show you some of the more rare stuff, but check this out. The rye recipe, 44 for the wheat. I'm definitely taking home the wheat recipe because I have a rye at home. No, you're not beating that price. No way. $44, that's crazy talk. And then look, I mean right here, 80, a little high for the Weller Special Reserve, but I'm buying this all day long. $89.99, they got tubes. I mean, they got so many of the E.H. Taylor small batch. So if you're interested, I'm gonna leave it all here for you. $59 for the 1792 single barrel. I don't see those much. I see the fool proof and bottled and bond, but not single barrel. Yeah.
$60, not bad at all.
So the E.H. Taylor, they got a ton here for $89. That's I think $10 over MSRP. So him and I, we both kind of don't like it that much. We'll leave it here for you. And what Pepinos? We're in Pepinos. Got the kosher wheat, and then we're gonna show you some of the more rare stuff. A little bit higher on prices, but still cheaper than what you've seen so far, probably in this video. Real quick, this Kentucky Owl 12 year right here used to be $250, special cost $99. So I'll say, wherever you're watching this from, if you can make it out to Pepinos here, come grab it for that price, but wherever you're watching from, be on the lookout for these Kentucky Owl prices going down. It's happening kind of everywhere. So you can get a bottle that used to be $250 for around $100. I'm gonna start all the way to the right here. We got some Michter's Toasted Bourbon next to the Michter's 10 year, both the rye and bourbon, some Blanton's Gold, Maker's Mark, Heart Release. Not sure if that's April or June, but $89.99 on that. $249 for Elmer. We were fortunate enough just now to be able to taste some Elmer. He said that the bottle came cracked, the cork was broken, so we got to share that. Such a good pour, classic. $199 Stag, the Angel's Envy single barrel, couple of Heaven Hill grain of glass, and then of course, look, you got pretty much the whole Weller Rainbow in the store. That is the Weller Rainbow, because they had Special Reserve over there. So you have a CYPB for $3.99 is actually not terrible compared to what I've seen. The single barrel foolproof 12 year antique for $149. And then of course you got some Knob 18 over there, Old Forester single barrel rye. Huge shout out to Pepinos, by the way. They let us film in there. Amazing prices on some of their shelfers. Of course, I think it's kind of the story everywhere here. You're gonna see overpriced for a certain thing. I think you pay $200 for the Elmer, which anywhere around here, I know that's good.
You're
right?
saying $700 all day.
All three of these on the dot, $300 on the dot. For all three products, that's actually not terrible, especially where we're at. But these were, what were they, 49?
It was like 44.
44, 49 bucks. Couple of wheat recipe, you got a rye recipe in the Elmer. Huge shout out, dude. The people in here are great. Some Italians, right? You hit it off with them
Vinny,
real well.
Of course.
Vinny. I knew it right away. And then right down the road across the bus stop, they said Pepinos, same name. They have a restaurant here too. Real Italian
business
food.
for 30 years.
30 years the restaurant's been open. So highly recommend. And this was one that we were just like, oh, wow, what is this? We saw liquors, stopped in here. Yep. So we're about to hit the spots that you know and plan for.
Yep.
Okay,
absolutely.
So
you come in, ex Vinny, and they'll take care of you, I'm assuming, right?
That's it. Do the tasting. They have tastings too.
Every Saturday they do a tasting, that's right.
That's right. Ask the store about some of the tastings, but I highly recommend. I know when I come back to New York, stopping in here, the vibe in there was good. You know, they let us taste some Elmer for nothing. He doesn't know us from nowhere, but he was like, hey, you guys try this, let me know what it is.
You like bourbon? Here, tell me what it is.
So super cool.
We were close.
Great stuff.
We got close with it.
We got close, awesome. All right, next stop, it's literally, you could pretty much see Pepinos right down the road, but we are at McGoverns Wine and Spirits. We're about to go inside. Hopefully they'll let us film and we'll show you the selection. That's what we're gonna do all day. So one thing that's pretty cool, they have like a case and a half worth of the BRT 02 2022. This is one of my favorite Maker's Mark wood finishing series, $100. I pay around 80 for it, 100, a little higher, but it's not terrible.
You ever try this?
Dude, so good.
This is one.
Yeah, it's amazing. What's the price
14?
on? 51. Yeah, you can find it for about 40, but 51's not terrible. Now look right above here, Hayden, if you want to show 99 bucks, so about 10 bucks over MSRP. April release, Maker's Mark Heart for 99 bucks is, I would pay it. Like I'm fortunate enough to just get an April release. I paid $89.99 for the June release, but I was gifted the April release Shout out John and Steve, man. Y'all are the best. $95.99 for Eagle Rare. But one thing that is cool that I just wanted to showcase on camera is they have the older bottle. So if you notice, older bottle just says Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Right next to it, you see the 10-year age statement. So this was always a 10-year-old bourbon, except they just didn't put it bold and proud on the bottle. Now they do. So if you see Eagle Rare, new bottles are gonna all be the 10. That's the older bottle right there. Some Michter's Toasted Bourbon, $2.99, right next to the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. Got some Four Roses limited edition, some Elmer, the Pappy, including the Pappy 15. If I had to recommend one, this Pappy 15 right here is the one to get. We have Thomas H. Handy, George T, age 12 years, 1792. Let's see, the entire Weller Rainbow, all back here. Maker's Mark Cellar aged. Jack Daniel's Twice Barrel. This is probably my favorite bottle I've ever had from Jack Daniel's. I really love it. Next to the 10, they got some Stag. This is 22A. That's also my favorite batch of Stag right there. Some Russell's 15, Russell's 13. About the only good thing in that store was the tasting part. We got the taste off camera, a couple of things that was great. Other than that, the prices were pretty crazy. They asked me, hey, while you're in the store, don't call out the prices. If you saw the video, I mean, those were the highest prices, I think, even higher than Manhattan. Yeah. $3 grand for Pappy 15 is just
$95 for an Eagle Rare. $95. I was like, what am I looking at right here?
The prices in there were insane. No, they were, yeah, like you said, no flexibility. She was like, nah, I can't come down on the prices. It's a beautiful shop though. Really cool store. And this is a great side of town if you're in the Brooklyn area, but
73rd and Bay Ridge.
I'm not spending $1 in there. I'll just say that. And I'm sure you guys know, look, the goal is to support good stores that have great prices. And even here, Pepinos, we just went to. Not saying they had the most incredible prices. They're rare allocations. You're gonna see that everywhere here. But we got those in the $40 price range for the kosher. You know, the rye, the wheat.
$80, $100 anywhere else you go.
80 or 100 everywhere else. So we like to, you know, shout out those stores, spend our money in those stores versus a store like that. But we're just showing you. We're showing you everywhere, and now we're going to go to some more. All right, so we just left On the Rocks Liquors. Didn't let us film in there. Management, a little weird. They had some decent prices on certain things, but 89 bucks off the shelf. Weller 107, we couldn't pass up. I mean, you see them for $100 secondary, 89's a little over MSRP, but you can never go wrong with the 107. So we both got one.
I wanted to clear the shelf.
Yeah, I wanted to too. They had tons of it here. So On the Rocks Liquor if you're interested. All right, so we're at Liquors and Wine Outlet. What street are we on? 86th
and 13th.
86th and 13th. This is a spot that you...
Yeah, this is my boy. Yeah.
You see that tear? He just walked a tear. Let me tell you what just happened.
Well, the wind just hit me.
He and his wife never had a hot Cheeto a day in their life. So when they're taking us around, giving us all these amazing Italian food, I was like, I don't know what brought it up. I was like, you guys ever had hot Cheetos? Both of them. No, never.
As we're eating pizza too.
As we're eating pizza, I'm like, dude, we're going to get a hot Cheeto at Walgreens across the street. Got Walgreens. They're both tearing up. She's over there throwing up. No, I'm just kidding. She's not throwing up. But this is the spot where Russell works, and apparently Russell's like big bourbon, big whiskey fan. So we're about to go inside, check it out. We'll see there. So now we're having the Old Forester single barrel strength. This is J6, so 4.6. Keep in mind, very rare to see ones from 4.6. 128.8 or 128.8 or 9 proof. I can't really see. There's a dink in it, but the manager's not even here yet. But we were just talking on the side, and that's the best Old Forester pick I've ever had. I'm not saying, you know, I'm gonna give him his praise and let him know when the manager gets back. But that is incredible, dude. And what is it?
Look at all the stores.
89, 89.99. This is the actual barrel that it was chose from too, from Old Forester. Pretty cool. This is so good. Wow. I like this a lot. I'm serious. $89.99. It's coming home today. Beautiful shelf. It's about 9 foot tall. Couldn't reach the top of it. And I see a lot of the price tags up there on corks, but we're gonna show you some things. Start off with this. I could have passed it up in the city without looking, but I think I would have saw it as this, the Old Overhaul Cash Ring 10-year. I'm not sure the normal price, but $99.99. Manager said it's worth every penny. He loves it, especially if you like high proof rye, which of course I do. I love the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Fantastic, that's a good one. James E. Pepper decanters. They got quite a few of these right here for $64.99. I've had it, it's pretty good. I would never turn down a pour of it. I just don't know if I'd buy a bottle. It just wasn't like that good to me. I paid $89.99 for my Sir Davis. So Sir Davis, if you're looking for it, if you're in the New York area, $79.99. Come check out this spot. 31 bucks, store pick. By Russell, look at that. Any one of these tags that you see by Russell. Russell's the guy that we were just sipping some of the Old Forester with. $31.99 for a Sazerac pick is great. I've seen my first Sazerac pick actually in Louisiana, believe it or not. Like, You would think we'd have Sazerac picks everywhere for how much Sazerac we have, but I saw a pick for the first time the other day. So 31 here. Let's see what else. Let me just go through the picks real quick. Ezra Brooks, Stellum, Sazerac Rye, Heaven's Door, the best Old Forester single barrel I've ever had, Angel's Envy, some Knob Creek pick, Elijah Craig, that is the 9-year, what's the proof? 94 proof. Garrison Brothers pick too, so lots of picks. But they got the High West Cask Collection. This one is finished in Chardonnay barrels for $59.99. I've been saying that a lot on this channel. If you could find one with this gray label from High West, it's probably gonna be really good. Try. Some Jefferson's Ocean. Look at this, $79.99. Penelope Valencia, that's batch 2. That's not even this year's batch. So one of the OG batches, if you really love batch 2, you're in the hunt for batch 3, or you wish you could find batch 2 again, $79.99 is MSRP. That's what I paid for mine. So the fact that he still has batch 2 and not batch 3 is impressive. It's pretty great. They might have a few old Dusties here, because at one of the stores we saw an OG Evan Williams 1783. So, I mean, it's a great selection. It's beautiful. The pick already that we tasted was great. I think we might try a couple other things, but highly recommend this store. And in the front, again, they have some of their allocations, which, of course, a little bit higher prices like you're used to seeing in New York, but this is a great store. I'm liking it. We're gonna call this Story Time with Russell. You like that? Story Time with Russell. Russell's the man here. He picks all the barrels, all the single barrels that they got here. This I said, and I didn't tell you yet, this is the best Old Forester single barrel I've ever had. Ever, period. And I've had a lot. But the way it was amazing. It's so smooth. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but I'm talking smooth for right under 130 proof. It's sweet. It's got a lot of great characteristics that I don't get from Old Forester. And the only time I've ever tasted something like this from Old Forester that's even close was the President's Choice. That's a special bottle, and this is special. This is damn good. Now, I want you to tell them the story on how you picked this.
Normally, they don't put you 6th floor, they give you 2nd, the 4th max. And I was talking to the guy, and the guy was telling me, write down the notes and telling me what you see, what you feel. So kind of, he was a main distiller. We got to the point, then we have the same notes, but I wrote something a lot more.
Yeah.
And he said, like, you know what, we're in the 4th floor, let's try another barrel. If you're gonna like it, you take it. If not, I don't care. I'm gonna go on the 6th floor because I want you to try good stuff.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. We took a 6th floor.
You took this, and that ended up being the best out of everything you tasted?
Yes, it was. Yes. We tried probably like from 4 to 6 barrels, and then came back to this one, and we loved it.
And you were in Kentucky when you did this?
Mm-hmm.
You were. So how many people did you bring, or is it normally just you that goes on these picks?
Just me.
Just you?
Just me and my wife as a sober driver.
Really?
Yeah.
So so you're in there, you're drinking a lot. You could handle it, right?
I can handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you build your immune or tolerance, or yes.
And you were saying earlier, you're Russian, so a lot of the Russian drinks what? And what got you into bourbon?
What?
I said a lot of them drink the Clear Spirit vodka. What got you into bourbon?
Flavor.
Okay.
I guess maybe a proof. History.
Yeah.
That's the first. And just a little bit sweetness, maybe because of the corn, because I used to drink a scotch, and the scotch, after a while, it just tastes all the same.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter what kind of proof, as long as you like. And the bourbon, every single battle, they all taste different.
That's and for those of you watching too, that's one of my most favorite parts about bourbon. You know, you've picked barrels, that we've picked barrels as well, but when you go to a rick house or a warehouse where they're aging their whiskey, you could try a barrel. The whiskey was put into the barrel the same exact day, and it's the same exact spot in the warehouse, but it all tastes different.
Yes, you go to the left corner, you go to the right corner. It all depends on the weather and where the south or west and where it's hitting the sun, and if they rotating the barrels. And the 2nd floor, it's all better. And another thing, we had to create something with the phone that took a picture of the smell of the barrels when they're inside. Yeah, I wish.
That'd be a cool invention. And the thing too, a lot of people probably mistake is when they char a barrel, that's not where the flavors come from, is that char. So different levels of char. Yes, they may affect the color of the whiskey and certain flavors, but majority of the flavors actually come from the sugars in the wood.
Yes.
So each barrel, it can come from the same exact mill, just like we were talking about, but it really depends on how the interaction is with the whiskey and the wood to pull out some of those sugars to give you most of that flavor too. And I think you nailed it with this one.
Thank you very much.
It was fantastic. And Garrison Brothers was amazing too. I know maybe a lot of people that watch don't like Garrison Brothers a whole lot, but if you were to try his, if he has one open, even if he doesn't have one open, if you're willing to spend the money, but you've been on the fence about a Garrison, I would try it as well. And just the rest of the picks. If anything's close to this, buy it, because this is the best Old Forester pick I've ever had. Hands down. This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate you. Thank you. We're at Sergi's Liquors now, still in Brooklyn. We'll see you inside. Jack Daniel's Rye Single Barrel, $57.99. This is a fantastic price for not 12, $50. That's pretty great. I also wanted to show you what Weller Special Reserve, the prices are like in New York, $69. Up top, you got some Michter's 10-year rye. Springbank. Hey, Springbank's one of the most popular scotches. People say that's like the best of the best. $129 for some Blanton's up there. Some Woodford Masters Collection for $199. Hey, right off rip, look at that. You have a slam dunk? Yeah.
I know you wanted one.
Little Maker's Slam Dunk. Cash Strengths here. Got some French Oak, one of the new labels. Green River, $36.99. It's a pretty great price. One of the better ones I've seen in the city for that whiskey in particular. Some Redwood for $34. Guys.
Your favorite. That's cool.
Man, they got bottles of John J. Bowman single barrel for $56.99. I know a lot of people in the comments are going to be like, why didn't you buy one? Well,
I got you.
Card gave us a bottle, and then I have a couple at home too now, so we're stacked on those. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's probably the biggest selection of Stranahans I've seen in the city yet, too. That's great. Buffalo Trace, $34. It's one of the cheaper ones. And what Card was telling us is in the city itself, they get maybe a case or two? If that. A case or two a month. So it is like highly allocated, like Eagle Rare or Blanton's might be in your area. That's why the prices are going to be a little higher here in the city. But $17.92, some single barrel bottled and bond, full proof up there. Maker's Mark Cash Strength for $64. That's a great price.
You got your
Check that out.
BRT 2, BRT 3.
BR2 01 and 02 up there. Both of those $99.99 is what it looks like, and some Heart Release for $99.99 as well down here. $119 for the American Light Whiskey. If I came to New York like 2 months ago, I'd have bought like 2 of those by now. I've seen a couple of stores with the American Light Whiskey. You just can't find them that much anymore. It's a fantastic bottle. Love it. If you haven't had American Light Whiskey yet, maybe around the area, or maybe there's a store and you've been not sure if you want to spend that $100 to $120 on the American Light Whiskey, do it. It's very, very much vanilla forward, a lot less oaky than a lot of whiskey, so you're going to get a lot of sweet note. It's fantastic coming from Penelope, and it's a 15-year-old whiskey. I love it. It's fantastic. One more thing I want to show you too, and I know a lot of people watching right now would probably grab a bottle or two if you're a fan. Personally, not a fan of it, but this is like the second spot I've seen up here. E.H. Taylor Small Batch for $79.99. I have to call it out. It's a great price. It is a little over MSRP, but it's definitely under secondary. So they have a few of them here. All right, so I don't remember what stores we got all this from, but let's go through the haul for the day. Grab 2 of these Alberta Premium Cash Strengths. The price were in the 30s from what I remember. You got 2 more of these, the High West, the Double Oak Pick. You said you love them. So you got 2 more of these. Old Forester, single barrel proof. Fantastic, one of the best I've ever had. I don't even remember you grabbing a Green River Full Proof.
Yes, I did.
Green River Full Proof gift.
No,
He gifted it to you.
Yes, he did.
Garrison Brothers store pick gift. That's a normally $150 bottle, so awesome gift right here. You bought the Redwood Empire Grizzly Beast for I think $79. We both walked away. We weren't able to get it on camera. I do remember that. $89 I think is what we paid for 107. So we each got one of those. You went with the new Michter's Toasted Bourbon. I think the proof on this is 91 proof. It's fantastic. You got an Elmer T. Lee. We got the Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat. We got 2 wheats, a rye, and then all the way at the ends of WB Saffel. You haven't had that yet, so you grab that one. And then a 1-of-1 signed Dustin Poirier card. I mean, we didn't get this today, but we definitely have to brag about it. Shout out Dustin Poirier. If you're watching the channel, you know I'm from Louisiana, hometown hero right there, so that's pretty cool to see. Signature 1-of-1 in the world. And I also just want to say thank you and your lovely wife for taking us out through Brooklyn, all of New York, where you guys live. This was the coolest bourbon hunt. It was just so cool. We hit a lot of stores. I mean, even some off camera that we hit. So
It's a different side of New York.
it's a different side of New York. It was way cooler than what I'm used to. Is just Manhattan. So Manhattan's garbage.
You can't compare the two. You come to New York, you
He's
come
seen
to
3 of the 5 photos.
That's it. I love it. Yeah, we really did. We've seen all the neighborhoods. It's great. I appreciate you guys so much for watching the channel, always supporting me. Check out the Patreon. You've been in the Patreon almost since day one.
I remember your first video.
First video, man. I mean, y'all been watching the channel for so long. Y'all know Card, #1 moderator. One of the nights where we had we had one night where all the mods actually ended up being at my house. He couldn't make the Louisiana barrel pick trip, so he was just, you know, getting people left and right. But I always appreciate you for being in the streams as well. Make sure you check out the links below, some Patreon, check out our Instagram, and we'll see you in the next one.